It is 2025, January 2025, and I'm playing the new expansion for Dead of Winter, the Outpost. Brand new expansion. The game itself came out, as you know, I believe it was 2014, and no, this isn't a new expansion. However, many people don't know about it. It is an expansion that's been out since about 2016, and it's free. No purchase necessary over at Board Game Geek. So the guy that designed this thing did a really good job. I believe his name is Jesper Schmidt, and he's from Denmark. Jesper Schmidt, and it's free downloads. There's quite a bit of downloading for it, and this is a video just doing like a open box. Just going to go over the whole material that you get if you decide to download this. I continue to play Dead of Winter quite a bit with my son. We do cooperative play. So everything I'm going to say today is based on the cooperative play to people. So, it's just a nice add-on that we have. This is it with all the components. What you'll be required to do is to download all the files and print them. So it's basically printing them on color. I printed them on color paper and then printed them on cardstock, which would be like a poster board. You could do it on, I suppose, cereal box paper for free, but the colors tend to bleed through. This is just basically poster board from dollar store. The standees that you're going to see in a second, I use this quite a bit for my crafting, and that's just matting material, picture frame matting. It's really thick. And you could get this at a craft store like Hobby Lobby or Michael's or wherever. Picture frame, anybody that does picture framing. Nice thick cardstock. So, yeah, once again, you'd be downloading this at Board Game Geek. If you want to do a search, it would be Dead of Winter, the Outpost. BGG, Board Game Geek, and you'll find it there. It's quite a bit to download, and I'd highly recommend to experiment with a couple of items for the way you would print it, fit to page versus actual size, because your printer might not get it right. So do that before you start printing everything out. You could do it on black and white. You don't have to you could do it on just regular paper, but if you do it on cardstock, it's going to last a lot longer. Just to compare, and we'll go over the components in a little bit, but this matches up pretty good with the original. That location is the school, which is location 3. This is the cabin, which is location 10, and they look pretty good, especially for amateur print job. So, once again, if you print this out, then you're going to glue it on cardstock. Probably, I use a bunch of this. It's called Elmer's Craft Bond. You do need a lot of time, so many of you out there won't even bother doing this, but I had a lot of time this winter, so I went ahead and did it. Well, it's kind of fun to do the crafting, and plus you have a nice expansion when you're done. So I'll go ahead and go over some key parts of this. So this can be used with the colony board. This is the original game with the colony. This is just another add-on where you can start the game or move over to this section. It's called the Outpost, and it has a waste pile just like the original board does. There's rules with this download. I'm not going to go over too much with the rules, but this waste pile will get full at 5 cards, where the original, I believe it was 10 or 12. Outpost occupants go there. There's also food supply that you'll have to contribute to it. There's crisis cards, new crisis cards. A lot of the new crisis cards pertain to the Outpost. And once again, you would print this and this. They have all this at that location, Board Game Geek. So you would be printing the main literature on one side, maybe gluing it to some cardstock and putting the reverse piece on it. These little and covers act real nice. So this is a rolling pin that you can find at the diner. A lot of new equipment, a lot of the same equipment like the Outsider card right there. But there is a lot of printing and a lot of gluing if you got the time. Each location has about approximately 20 cards. So that's location 7. Now, the original game comes with 6 locations. This one's location 7, the church. Location 8, the diner. Location 9, hardware store. 10, the cabin. And 11, the lookout tower. What I really like about this game is these two locations really change the game quite a bit. It really is thematic. The cabin, only one character can go there at a time, and only one zombie can appear too. So you cannot make noise here. There's no noise. There's no spot for making noise. And since a zombie is going to be coming in there immediately, the first thing that survivor has to do is create a barricade. Otherwise, they're going to die and get defeated by the zombie that next phase. So there's some really cool things at the cabin. Equipment, a lot of fuel, a lot of food, a lot of medicine. But only one at a time. The lookout tower, zombies don't go there, and only one survivor can go there. This is pretty unique, because when you use the lookout tower, you search. It's basically allowing you to, like this one is the hospital event. You may look at the top card of the hospital item deck. So basically, it allows you to look at the top card of any of these decks, and which can be useful. But once you use that one time, you get a hypothermia token, which they supply on the downloads as well. So your character would get a hypothermia token. It doesn't have to be removed, and it's not deadly, but they cannot use the lookout tower until that hypothermia token is taken off. And the only way to remove that is for the survivor to either go back to the colony, there's the colony, or if they go to the outpost. And it's basically like they're warming up. That would also give another survivor a chance to go to the tower to use it. So with cooperative play, I'm incorporating some pretty neat things with the tower, like spiking the deck, like, you know, a scenario where you need to go to the lookout tower to, see if there's a zombie horde that just can't be defeated. So you'd have to get there and spike this deck somewhere in the first 5 cards, maybe, and you don't know which location it is until you pick it. Once you pick it, then you'll know that that you have to go to that other location to defeat that zombie horde by maybe an item from the church. The church has some really cool things like a Bible. And so I've incorporated that in my own scenario, where I've had to go to the lookout tower first, then go to the church to find a relic, because there's relics and things in that church, to go to a location to defeat the zombies that you determine that there's a major problem. So I'm not going to get more into that because I'm experimenting on it myself. So once again, going back to what the components are that you get here, I believe it's 8 different player characters with the cards and the standees. The standees, I use that matting material. It's a little thicker. Now that was a little tricky cutting these out. They're not perfect, but they'll do. There's also a lot of people really get into those crossroad cards. So there is crossroad cards. I haven't cut those out yet. So there's the backings of them. And there is these all relate to the survivors in this expansion. And these survivors do have their abilities, a lot of those pertain to these locations, these new locations. So the hardware store does have some neat things in it. I'm not going to go over all of them, but for example, the winter coat. The survivor can stay an extra turn in the lookout tower. So basically getting another, not just one hypothermia token, but two. But you'd have to find that winter coat. I think there is a snowmobile. Continue with a fuel card. When the survivor moves, do not roll for exposure. Place a wound token on this card for each move. Then it reaches 3 tokens. The fuel is depleted. Remove the snowmobile and fuel cards from play. So you get to use this about 3 turns without rolling for exposure. So yeah, with that download again, he supplied rules for this with movement. You can basically move from either the colony or the outpost to any location. You just can't go from the new locations to the old locations that easily. I think you have to go make 2 moves and roll exposure twice. So I thought this was really exciting because there hasn't been anything new for this game, and I can use it playing cooperatively. It really just brings new locations and things that I can plan to do with making my own scenarios. There is not any scenarios, or I didn't see that he supplied it anything new when it comes to scenarios, but I think that's just to let you as a user make your own. So, and the boards look very, very similar. I mean, they definitely kept with the same colors and themes. That's the original, and this is the one that I made. I used an old board. It wasn't a Scrabble board, but it was some game board I had an extra, and I just covered it. And it actually folds. I used some duct tape on both sides, and then I covered it. So the duct tape should last a good long time. There's just graphics I put on this side just to put something on it. And the main board there. So there's 4 entrances. Each one has 3 spots. So once again, Board Game Geek. Just Google search Dead of Winter, the Outpost. And just giving a shout out again to the guy that designed this. I think it was in 2016, Jesper Schmidt, and from Denmark. I hope you enjoyed the video. Bye.